This is bad news for Ruben Amorim out FC, man. For everybody that's been crying for Ruben Amorim to be sacked, your dreams have become absolutely crushed by Ineos here because Sir Jim Ratcliffe basically confirmed that he intends to give the manager 3 years. 3 years because things don't happen overnight. Rome wasn't built in a year like a once horrible manager said, Erik ten Hag. But anywho, the thing is, Ruben Amorim staying for 3 years, believe it or not, coming from an outside fan, not a fan of United, just a fan of football, is the perfect thing for all parties included. Because Man United have been sacking managers left, right, and center as if they were going to Black Friday and getting a bunch of electrical expensive stuff, basically to resell. Or like resellers at Nike who rush the Nike store to get a bunch of shoes. They sack them like it's every day. Like, oh my God, you did a bad season, we're going to sack you. Every single time. They don't give these managers enough time. Now, the thing is, how many years did it take Sir Alex Ferguson to get Man United up and going? A lot of years, man. Multiple years. Not as much time as they gave Mourinho, Moyes, Van Gaal, all these guys. Sir Alex got so much time. And guess what? It actually paid off in the end because he ended up becoming a top 3 manager of all time and making Man United one of the biggest clubs in the world. Unfortunately, they've fallen. But many people are going to come out and say, well, Man United's 10th and last season they finished 15th. How are we going to be backing the same manager if the manager isn't providing results? Well, keep in mind last season, he came in mid-year. Erik ten Hag left them out to dry below mid-table. And then Ruben Amorim comes into a squad that wasn't really his aside from Ugarte. So, you're coming in, Erik ten Hag plays a 4-3-3. You like playing a 3-back, basically a 3-5-2, a 3-4-3, sorry. And you're changing the whole system mid-season, so that was a recipe for disaster. As long as you don't relegate, it didn't really matter because with Ten Hag, you were never going to get into a European position. You were getting absolutely battered. He lost the locker room. And Ruben Amorim, at the end of the day, I'm not going to say he isn't losing the locker room, but sometimes you have to look at the likes of Bruno Fernandes, Dalot, all these players, and etc., and be like they've been inherited by so many managers, 4, 5, 6 managers, right? And they've all failed. Maybe it's time to look at the players, get rid of the players, clean slate it, because it's hard for the manager to have the players happy if the players haven't been happy for 5, 6 managers. You're going to tell me those 5, 6 managers were all the problem but not the players? Nah, mate. It's the players. And honestly, they've gotten rid of some of the wrong players. The Højlund situation. Look at him. He's absolutely tearing it up with De Bruyne. And you're telling me that Bruno Fernandes couldn't have given him the same service? People like to put Bruno Fernandes and De Bruyne in the same, in the same breath, which is the disgrace to football, to be honest, because this is washed De Bruyne. Guardiola wanted nothing to do with them, and he's tearing it up with Højlund, making him the next Haaland. Meanwhile, Bruno Fernandes is struggling with Sesko. That's the reality of the situation, because you're going to say, oh, Sesko scored 2 goals in the last 2 games. These aren't, oh, Bruno Fernandes, what a pass. Bruno Fernandes, man, oh, you created that. No, it's a rebound goals. It's like, it's goals that Sesko's really, hungry for, and he's scrapping for anything he can get. And props to Sesko here, but at the end of the day, he's been put in a poor situation like Højlund was one, put in. But basically, Sir Jim Ratcliffe's basically logic here is, I remember the calls for Sir Alex Ferguson getting sacked his first 2 years because they were poor, like Ruben Amorim's been poor last year, and he's going to be poor this year. Look at Arteta at Arsenal. He got back-to-back 8th places. He went through the tough times, and now look at where Arsenal is long-term. If they would have sacked Arteta after the 2nd, 8th place, they probably wouldn't have gotten to where they're at right now, which is first place in the league, back-to-back second places. Yes, you can say that. But at the end of the day, that is a way better position than the likes of, Man United are right now. So he's looking at the logic of, let's give this guy 3 years to be able to build his own team, his own culture. And then after 3 years, if it's not looking promising, then he can sack the manager, which is honestly something that many teams should look at. Because yes, there's going to be options, Glasner, Simeone possibly, if you can really get him out of Atletico, which is more unrealistic. Glasner's probably more realistic, but Simeone is a big name that you can't really not get tempted by if you're Sir Jim Ratcliffe. But at the end of the day, if he can come in 3 years, put his players, put his system, and then see how it works, how it functions, see if it's promising. it's logically to sack him if it's not and give him time if you see promise. Because you're not going to turn a 15th Man United team in under a year into a top 4, candidate. It's not going to happen. And I understand Man United fans have been spoiled growing up where they were winning league after league after league after league, competing in the Champions League, competing in the Champions League, but you've fallen off. The wheels have officially fallen off, and it's going to take time to be able to rebuild it. You have to choose who's going to be building the wheels, and that's what's going to happen, to be honest. Because Ruben Amorim, you can say his 3-back isn't going to work. Oh, it's not working in modern football. Thomas Tuchel won a Champions League with Chelsea with the 3-back, and he beat your rivals, Man City, in that Champions League final with a goal from a flop of Kai Havertz. That's how good that 3-back can be with the 2 midfield pivot. It's a successful system with the right players, and honestly, the key part of that team was the midfield of Jorginho and Kante. And Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes can't even wash their boots. Simple as that. So my biggest thing is give Ruben Amorim his players, his squad, people that are actually going to follow, change the culture, change the players that have been there for 5 years before you change the manager. Because you've changed the manager numerous amount of times and you're still having the same problems. It's time to actually change the players, even if you take L's on transfers, because you've already taken an L on Sancho, you've taken an L, you're probably going to take an L on Rashford, Højlund, Antony, all these players. You might as well start taking L's on the actual cancers of the squad, which would be, in my opinion, Bruno Fernandes, Diego Dalot, Harry Maguire, those kinds of players need to get rid of. But anyways, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. What do you think is the actual problem at Man United? Personally, me, it's the captaincy and the leadership amongst players. But anyways, thank you guys for watching.